This is Betty Traciak with the Splitcoaststamper tutorial for a home decor gift idea. This is a perpetual calendar that displays the month and the date on an easel base. Supplies that you will need for this project are a numbered stamp set. I'm using the number of years set by Stampin' Up, a 1/16 inch circle handheld punch, jump rings that are 15 millimeters in diameter, adhesive foam dots, cardstock that is 8.5 by 11. You need 1 piece of colored cardstock and 3 pieces of white cardstock. This is an optional piece for decorating, but the size that I have is 3 7/8 by 8 3/8. This is optional in this case using the MISTI, but I found that this is very helpful in this project. You will also need a pencil, a ruler, and a scoreboard. Begin by cutting 23 pieces of white cardstock that are 1 3/4 inches by 3 inches. Each of these will be stamped with one of the number stamps, and they will need to be stamped multiple times. Different numbers need to be stamped a different amount of times, so I have created this chart to show you. So for example, the 0 needs to be stamped on 4 pieces of paper, the 1 needs to be stamped 4 times, the 2 needs to be stamped 3 times, and so on. Because of this multiple stamping, I did find that the MISTI was very helpful for this. This stamp set that I'm using is a photopolymer stamp set, so I do have the foam insert in here so that I can get a good image. I begin by putting the cardstock in the corner, using the magnet to hold it down because this is fairly tight. I put those magnets mostly out of the way, just touching the edges. And I check to make sure that that is where I want it. Now I'm going to be decorating down here with a piece of washi tape, so I have my image up a little bit. I make note of where that is because that's going to be helpful in positioning other numbers as we go along. So I just ink up this each time. Stamp it. And move on to the next one. Of course, if you don't have a MISTI, you can just stamp this by hand. That works just as well. See, that one did not stamp perfectly, which is another reason that it's very handy using the MISTI. I can go back and re-ink that, stamp it again, and there I have an image that I like. From here then I clean the stamp and move on to the next number. Once all of the numbers are stamped, these can be decorated however you would like. I'm going to put a little bit of washi tape on the bottom of mine. Another idea would be to do some light stamping in the background of each of these. So I'm just going to place the washi tape and trim that. I'm going to go through each one of these and apply the washi tape. The next step is to punch a hole near the top of each piece. To do that, you can gather a group of them together and use the handheld punch and just eyeball it. Or what I like to do is take one that I've already predetermined where I want that hole to be and just lay that over the top fill in the circle so that I can see where to punch, and that way I can get a more consistent hole each time. So I just punch a group, and you can do about 4 at a time, so you can gather these up with a template each time. To make the easel base, take an 8.5 by 11 inch piece of cardstock and place that in the landscape position on your scoreboard. Score that at 3.5 and at 7 inches. Turn and fold down on the 3.5 inch line, and using a ruler, make a light pencil line 3/8 of an inch from the top. Then I place this back into my scoreboard to make some marks. You could do this using a ruler, but I like to do this using the scoreboard so I can see where that mark is. This is the pencil mark along here, and I want to make a mark right at the pencil mark at various points along here where we'll be punching a hole. So the places that you need to mark are 1 1/8, 3 1/8, 5 3/8, and 7 3/8. Then take the handheld punch, and each place that is marked there where those lines intersect, punch a hole. Then this pencil line can be erased. And fold on the other score line. This forms the easel, and so then this can be decorated however you choose. What I've done for mine is take a piece of paper that is 3 7/8 by 8 3/8 to put on the bottom. Then you need some sort of raised element here to hold the easel in place. That can be either a stamped image with dimensionals, it could be a button, it could be a flower, anything that you choose can go in this spot right here. Next, sort the numbers into 4 piles. The one on the left will have 0 and 1. The next stack will have 0 to 9 in order. And the next will have 0 to 3, and the one on the right will have 0 to 9. Then just stack those up, take one of the jump rings, thread through all of the holes. Then take each set of numbers and thread it through the holes at the back. I found that you usually need to open that jump ring fairly wide to get that to fit through, and then just bend that back into place. Here's the finished calendar. Thanks so much for joining us for the holiday tutorial event on Split Coast Stampers.